hear me out. Backrooms and Obsession are documentaries about academia. Because if anyone understands what it's like living in both of those worlds, it's PhD students. I had posted on Instagram about how Backrooms was like academia. I thought this was a niche feeling. Apparently, there's something here that people who attend university really resonated with that. I won't mention any spoilers, so you're completely safe. Or are you? If it's your first time here, hi, I'm Xanthe, the feral academic. Call me Xanthe, call me feral. Either one is true. And welcome to the authentic academic movement where we are feral, honest, and anti-bullshit. Gen Z has dethroned Spielberg. This is huge. Gen Z is shifting the film industry because, look at these comments that were left. Spielberg is untouchable in the film industry. And this is the first time that I've seen multiple people saying that you should watch two independent horror films over a big budget studio by Spielberg. This is wild. And even Spielberg himself said he watched Obsession and loved it. I'm not sure if he's seen Backrooms yet. This is a great thing for horror community and also independent filmmakers. A feral update. In Obsession, the supporting actress Megan Lawless is the lead in my film Rosebud, which we filmed quite a while ago, but it took a while to get through post. She is thriving, sliving, slaying, deservedly is. She's incredible. Go follow her on Instagram. First of all, I am so excited for the world to see just how talented she is. That is just the surface. Like what you saw in Obsession is just the surface. Rosebud. And it is premiering at Midsummer Scream in Long Beach in August. So if you are in Southern California, go ahead and check it out. I unfortunately will not be able to be there because I'm in the UK. Let me know what you thought of the film. I will put the link in the description below. So we're going to be in the Sunday block. It's such an amazing team. Please go support them. The costume assistant, Corey Kim, worked on Obsession as well under the art department. They are so freaking talented. When I saw the name on the credits, this is why we watch credits, fam. This is why, because you see people and you're like, oh my God, you worked on this movie. Congrats, slave. 2 Rosebud family members are working with Blumhouse. Blumhouse, stop stealing my family, please. But just kidding. But if you want to invite me to direct something for the House of Blum, then contact my agent. Just kidding. I don't have an agent, so just email me, bro. Taking a moment to gloat for Corey and Megan because I'm so freaking happy that 2 amazing and talented and creative people of color, women and non-binary, are rising in the industry. Support your collaborators, bro. Never forget them. Moving on to the horror of romance and life in academia. Let's talk about Backrooms first. PhD students feel trapped. When you're doing the thesis, it's like you're endlessly wandering. You're like, oh my God, like, where am I? It's so disorienting. You feel so alone. Is there someone here? Is there no one here? That's what makes the film so wonderful, is because okay, so some people say that the film doesn't make sense. I disagree aggressively. Then this is no mistake that the film was produced by Oz Perkins, who is the king of poetic horror. It's amazing that Kane Parsons, the director, was able to work with him. What a match made in liminal space. What is so beautiful about Backrooms is that it's poetry. You can really watch this film and come to your own conclusions about how it makes you feel, but I would say emotionally, it's very clear. It's really about loneliness and feeling trapped and isolated and like attached to something that you can't quite get rid of. And that's the thesis. I feel this film resonates with a lot of students and specifically young people. I was reading some statistics from an article that said that the majority of people that watched Backrooms and Obsession were teenagers to mid-20s. I believe that this is why the films are doing so well at the box office, clicking with them, because Gen Z is experiencing a ton of loneliness. I do remember 80% of Gen Z felt really lonely and isolated. So the fact that 2 filmmakers in their 20s had made films about loneliness in the horror lens is very, very indicative of where we are at as a society and where our young people are at mentally. You know that Euphoria clip meme where it's like, is this freaking play about us? And then it's like, oh, Latinas saying that about obsession, like they're obsessive partners. But you know what? I feel like, is this freaking play about us? It's academics. Like the rest of y'all sit down. Speaking of obsession, one of my most popular videos on here is the one about dating. And it's a subject that I get a lot of questions on and comments as well. How difficult it is to have a relationship because you're in relationship with your PhD, which is like Nikki in Obsession. Like she's so like, you can't have a life outside of me like that. No. That's literally what it's like to be in academia. So basically in academia, you do feel like you're punished if you do not dedicate your whole life and self to academia. There's this unspoken expectation that you devote your life. You're expected to go into academia when you graduate. Going back to what Gabriella said in the podcast earlier this week, the academia is the blob. Maybe that's a triple feature right there. Like watch Obsession, The Blob, and then Backrooms. These are the academic documentaries you must watch before you start a PhD. Imagine how many people would not do PhD. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yes, we're talking about obsession and PhD dating. The main character, Bear, like the average PhD bro, who's like, oh my gosh, I'm so lonely. You know, I really like this person, but I don't know how to communicate because I'm always stuck in my books and my research and my field work rather. Instead of like dealing with these emotions and going to therapy and figuring out how to better yourself and be more authentic in yourself, they do stupid things. They don't behave appropriately. I'm not saying that everyone is like this. This is just an example of Bear. I see this all the time. And it's such a stereotype, right? If you want to find your person or your people, here we're not neglecting the poly people, you have to start with yourself. You have to learn how to love yourself and be alone. And not in the sense that I'm going to be alone and you're repressing things. I'm talking about alone, dealing with your crap. What do you call it? Doing shadow work on yourself and figuring out what your self-limiting beliefs are in romance. Be the partner that you would want to have. That's what I hear all the time. However, not everyone wants to do the work and they lie to themselves. I talk about this a lot. There's a lot of people out there who think they're slaying and they're just repressing. This is why obsession is so academia dating coded, because instead of him dealing with himself and his inability to communicate clearly, he does this whole like, oh, I wish this and blah, blah. And so the film really kicks off at that point. And what I'm saying as a metaphor, Nikki's the PhD. That whole moment with Sarah and Bear, where they was like, oh, they're sort of trying to have like a little relationship here. That's you and a potential person. And then here's Nikki over here being like, excuse me, I'm your PhD, I'm your life. It's scary because there's consequences when you don't pay attention, as we saw in the film. That is how I see Backrooms and Obsession, as a combo of the relational experience and the spatial experience. It's too real. Imagine I hope somebody does a cut Obsession and Backrooms together, like any editors out there that will do this, and that will be called like Backrooms Obsession, the academic cut. Honestly, that would be so good. Okay, another thing I missed to mention, that the biggest reason why Backrooms is academia, you feel like you're making progress, but you're just standing still. And then you're just there. And then you're just there. It's jarring, you know? It's like you're completely shaped by it. Like you could not go into the back rooms and come out the same person you were coming out. It affects you like in every way possible. Like you do not see the world the same. You can't unsee it. You can't unexperience the trauma that you went through. Yes, so you're trapped. Obsession, Backrooms, both trap scenarios. If you're wanting to start a PhD, sounds lovely, right? Horror is such a strong genre Of course, I feel like I'm biased because I'm a horror filmmaker and horror academic. However, it is, okay? This is why the films are so strong, because they externalize these emotions of loneliness that are difficult to put into words, especially in a society where we're encouraged to be nonchalant, or we're too cool to want something, or we're too cool to express sadness or happiness. And that's really harmful and lonely. When you can express yourself, that's true freedom, you know? To circle it back, it's like this is why it is resonating not only with Gen Z, but with the wider audience. If you watched Obsession and Backrooms already and you thought, or just another bloody film, well, I want you to rewatch it again. Look at it through the lens of loneliness, of things you're afraid to say or do. These two films have a lot to say, and they're said really well by younger filmmakers. My question for you is, how is academia keeping you trapped? Whether that's emotionally, spiritually, physically, and what step will you take to say, not today, buddy? I'm not your buddy guy. I'm not your guy, buddy. Sorry, I got distracted by South Park reference. But anyway, don't be trapped by the backrooms / academia or obsession / your PhD, because you have the power. Okay, ferals, that's it for today. If you made it to the end, I love whatever delightful thing is wrong with you. Subscribe if you want to keep in touch. I'm sending you love, hugs, and legal drugs. And remember, we're feral, not failures. Love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Class dismissed.